Right, hello wonderful people of YouTube. That's my laptop and my crotch, not my face. There we go. Wonderful. How we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a not a full day in life, it's 10:30 and I've been up for 5 hours. So maybe 3/4 to half day in the life of Josh Campbell having a client competing in PCA Naturals 1. So, we've got Lewis Agnew. I'll see if I can get Brandon to put some lovely photos of Lewis up on screen here. Lewis is, as of right now, I would say 15 minutes out. On around 11 o'clock, but they've not got a disabled class or a disability class. So I believe they will be a little bit quicker. PC are always very on the ball with their timings and pretty quick. So, yeah, Lewis on today as a teen in juniors. So Lewis is 19, competing in a teens class for most of his shows, but the PCA don't have a teens class, they only have juniors. So he's going in for this today. It's an early warm-up show. First of the season, like first of my clients for the season, first show of the season, and Lewis's first show ever. So very exciting. He's down with Brandon and Leo. I sadly wasn't able to go because I already had plans, arrangements to be at my friend and my client's fight. So he had a kickboxing fight late last night. I already told him a few months ago that I'd be there, bought the tickets, and I'm a man of my words. I'm not going to go back on that. And Lewis just jumped into the show about 2 weeks ago. You know, we decided, fuck it, we'll go for it. I did let him know that I obviously couldn't be there. I go to pretty much all of my client shows. I believe when I mapped it out, I've got 12 shows this year, all down in England, which is the hard part. Living up in Scotland is great. I would prefer it to England, but then the issue comes with driving down to all these shows. It's a good 5 hour drive to most shows, which is pretty rough. But yeah, Brandon and Leo are down there with him, so shout out the boys. Brandon, pop your Instagram. Leo, you pop his Instagram too, if that's cool. And obviously Lewis's Instagram as well, so everyone can go follow along with him and your YouTube channels as well. I believe you've all got YouTube channels. So yeah, I'm very excited. Lewis should do pretty well. You know, he's looking great condition-wise, fullness, peak itself, feeling good. Ability to get a pump has been great. Like this whole week's been brilliant. We've kept it in the shadows, the hashtag shadows. Until last night, he just decided to put a post out saying, right, that's been 15 hours out. I'm like, you've kept it quiet this whole time. And then the night before and just to announce it. But it's all good. I'm excited for him. I believe everyone else is. You know, he's had some really good feedback and good response from that video and a lot of people supporting. So, yeah, it's going to be wicked. First show of the season. I'm excited. I'll take you along with me, kind of seeing where Lewis places. We can get some photos up on screen and everything like that and show you my live reaction. Let's go. Oh, also, rest of the stuff. What's happening for the rest of the day? I'm going to go train upper at a new gym. So this will be new to me once again. Prestige Fitness, I believe it's called. Going to train with one of my clients, J Castle, J.Castle Fit, I believe Instagram is. There's so many Instagrams up on screen now. But yeah, I'm going to go train upper with Jay. So I had my client Jay's fight last night, and then I have Lucy's show this morning, and then training upper with another client called Jay today. So busy wee weekends, but excited for it. Upper session should be good. Looks like there's good equipment, good kit there. So a 1v1 Jay and some stuff is usually a good bit stronger than me, which is unfortunate, but I'll see if we can just Photoshop or edit it or ChatGPT change it to make it look like I'm stronger. But yeah, all good. Let's go. Right, little update for everyone. I'm as much in the dark as you guys are here with the results. Sorry, I've got some music on my laptop I need to turn off for a second. So I've been speaking to Brandon and Leo. They've been keeping me up to date. Will, also one of my clients, shout out Will. He had messaged me saying that Lewis is looking really good. Leo and Brandon sent over a wee photo. Front double was looking good. His quads weren't on in the photo, so it's hard to see properly, but he held centre stage for the first call out. So I am excited. Really, really happy with that. Like, no matter where he places now, we know that he's going to be within that top 3 somewhere if he's held the centre stage in that first call out. So that's a fucking massive win. Lewis as a teen going into the juniors class, for him to be placing somewhere within there. I imagine it's within there. I don't want to jinx anything, but if you're holding centre stage for a full first call out, then you've got to be up there. So yeah, sweet, very happy, and I'm sure we'll have the results pretty soon. That's been 15 minutes or so since he's been on stage, so they're just doing the routines just now. And yeah, maybe even get like a video whip of his routine on the video, and we'll just see how things are looking. But yeah, I'm excited, and results soon. We have the results, and Lewis has just placed first fucking brilliant. I'm over the moon. We can see here a wee photo of him with his first place trophy. Fucking brilliant. Teen going into a juniors class 4 weeks early. I've had feedback from a few people that he's been the most conditioned in the whole class. Pretty full as well. Like, I think peaked, not to toot my own trumpet, but peaked pretty damn well. Condition is the best it's been ever. You know, like over the past week or two, even when we've been kind of pushing a little bit more fat loss, condition is better now because he's fuller. It's pushing up against the skin. He's dry, hard, full as fuck. As a 64 kg teen going into a juniors class to win it. Fucking come on! Right, hello from me floating around the screen somewhere. You'll see me, I don't know where I'll be. But no, to go through the clips, let's run through some thoughts and cues and everything, because a few people have said that they gained some knowledge from it, which is exactly what we're going for, so I shall continue to do so. Lateral raise, I turn myself to the side that I'm doing slightly. So if I'm doing my right hand side, I'll rotate my torso to the right ever so slightly. Raising in that scapular plane feels much better contraction, doesn't feel as just meh in your shoulder, and you get more from it. So rotate yourself slightly towards the working side. Obviously that only really works if you are doing a single arm. If you rotate to one side, if you're doing a dual arm, then it does the opposite for the other one. Even at that, like if you are doing a dual arm one, make sure that your arms are slightly in front of your body and that you're not raising directly out to the side. Also with a lateral raise, I'm thinking about scraping my hand down and out the way and not shrugging up the way. You'll see that my arm is pretty much fully straight because that allows me to cue doing so. When it's bent, people end up kind of like chicken winging up the way. Instead, arm fully straight and really dragging the hand out to the side of you instead of just up the way. Chest press, not much to say here, just a chest press to be honest. I wasn't doing anything mad on it either, just because my shoulder isn't feeling the best. That was 2 sets of 10. On the topic of shoulder not feeling the best, if something isn't feeling amazing, don't just leave it and not do anything. You'd rather just go a little bit lighter, focus on contractions and still actually get some stimulus going about it. So that was my goal there. I then went on to do my external rotation and my sort of rehab stuff. I didn't record that. Jay went and done a shoulder press. I had my next movement as a single arm pull down. I believe that would be the next movement that I recorded. With that, I'm thinking about keeping the shoulder in place. I'm not thinking about, right, I'm just going to let it come out here and then pull down, rotate the torso, keep it all in line. Make sure that your torso stays pretty much squared on. Don't let that move. You're going to get minimal amounts, and it's impossible to entirely stop that. But you're thinking about keeping that where it is, driving the hand down the way. Do not pull your elbow back past the torso, and think about pulling your hand down and away from yourself. The cue that I use, I think I might have mentioned it on here before. Imagine your hand is covered in shit. You don't want to pull it anywhere near your face. You don't want to pull it back towards you because it fucking stinks. You want to think about pulling it down and away from you. Get that the fuck away from me. You know, and it honestly works. Like stupid daft cues like that, they're memorable. So when you're pulling down, when you're doing a lat bias roll, think about pulling down and away from you and not back towards yourself. Upper back row, fucking grip and rip, a little bit of yeah buddiness. May not have been the cleanest set of all time, but good stimulus, felt good, it was fun. That was stack plus 5 kg. And yeah, I've got nothing much to report back on that. Like some people say, oh yeah, I didn't get much of an internal feel when I was doing that. I'm like, you're not really looking for an internal feel there. I would just like to see people and my clients get very strong on them, make sure that they're not completely caving their chest over and rolling the shoulders over the machine. Think we're keeping the chest proud and wrapping the shoulder blades around the side of your chest. It's a good cue, to be fair. Again, something that can be handy. You don't want to think about shoulders going over and caving that in. Really think about chest staying neutral and then wrapping the shoulder blades around the side of that so that you actually lengthen the upper back and not just round over. Then I forgot to move my tripod and it just sat at that machine for ages. And then the next movement was the tricep extensions. Again with this, like actually focusing on internal feel and fucking my triceps up. Thinking about extending down and in front of me and not just like extending back the way. Don't ski it and pull the hand back like so. Really think about extending out in front of you so that you can get a better contraction through the triceps and make sure you fully straighten your arm. I know that might sound stupid, but if you record yourself and you're doing it and like you're only coming down 80% of the way, you're not getting that full contraction. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect every time. Sorry, getting into my driveway is rather tight. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you should be getting at least 95% contraction every time you do it, or full extension, sorry. And yeah, I think that covers that. Continuing to grow from here, continuing to get stronger, very much the same. You'll notice that, like, when I'm talking about this stuff at the end of the video, is like, there's never much changing and never much happening that's crazy or different. Like, it's just, bodybuilding is just repeating the same shit and be really, really good at it, doing it consistently and giving it time. You know, like, some people don't like that, and that's absolutely fine, because it is relatively boring or monotonous when you look at it on paper, but you make it fun, you make it exciting, you know, enjoy your training, have at it, enjoy the process, enjoy fucking getting bigger as much as it takes time. Time passes anyway. That's it. So, yeah, that wraps up the session. Perfect. On you go, future Josh. You take over. Right. Hello, everyone. Post-workout. Session was good. It is 3:38 just now. Solid session, as I say. Chest didn't feel the best, just due to my shoulder being a little bit off, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. Not the end of the world. I was still able to get a chest press in, done my rehab work, my external rotation, and then my wee kind of skydiver things, and it's like a lying down shoulder press, kissing the ground, but having everything retracted back, and then I'm doing like a wee shoulder press horizontally along the ground. Super weird and looks super fruity and strange doing it, but that's to help my shoulders get better, so I don't mind looking like a dafty. So got that done. Pull work was good, single arm pull down happy with, the upper back row felt nice, a stack and a wee bit on top as well, which was lovely. Yeah, session was decent. I'm going to talk through the situation with Lewis and Lewis's peak, and I'm so happy. Like, it looked incredible. The peak itself, like, landed him super full on stage. He said he's never had a pump like it in his life, which is great. And yeah, his midsection was just dialed the fuck in. Everything was where it needed to be. Honestly, couldn't have asked for much more in terms of the look on stage there. Peak was very simple. I say simple, like, it depends how you look at it, but in terms of peaking, it was simple. Foods didn't change much from his sort of baseline foods and what we usually do and what we usually run. It's still the same setup. We ran a teeny bit more food at the start of the week, and then we ran a little bit more foods somewhere within the middle there on the very first day, on the Sunday, because he competed today, which is Saturday, and we started peaking on the Sunday. Peak week doesn't mean it needs to start on Monday or it needs to start exactly a week before. Like, we decided that Saturday we'd just have usual foods, use that as a final kind of opportunity to get a little bit more condition. He had a new low the next day, which was spot on. On the Sunday, he has an arm day, because Lewis needs a little bit more arm in general. They've definitely came up, and they looked a lot better on stage. Like, they didn't look as much of a weak point as they definitely had been before. But we ran a little bit more food on the arm session. That was like his training day foods, with a little bit more instead of his rest day foods, which is what he'd usually have. And then he always has a high day on a Tuesday and a high day on a Friday. So that worked really nicely, because I wanted him to have higher foods the day before the show, making sure that he didn't flatten off massively and that we didn't need to have loads of foods on show day. That's something to note. You ideally don't want to be eating ridiculous amounts, and sometimes you have to. Like, sometimes just to get the physique. Not coming back to life, because you already should have pretty much done that throughout peak week, but if you're still on that kind of, in that range where you're adding more food in and you're still not filling up too much, you're going to need to do it. But again, that's something to take forwards for your next peaks, and realising that you maybe need a little bit more food earlier on in the week to kind of fill up a little bit more and make sure that you're super ready to go. But with Lewis, we knew that day after a high day, he looked really good. Day after a high day without having like a lot of foods pre-stage or pre-workout. So what we were doing was taking fasted shots with his body weight, and this is from Saturday or the Sunday before. Fasted shots with body weight, and then post-workout shots with his body weight as well. So correlating a look with a body weight and with how much foods he would have. So Lewis has a consistent set meal plan in place. He's got his training day foods, his rest day foods, and his high day food. It's all written out there so we can see exactly how much it is that he's having. And again, we would take into account, right, we had a high day yesterday, and this is the look today on baseline training day foods. How does that look? Or, all right, we had normal foods yesterday, and then it's high day food today. How does that look post-workout? You know, do you look better when you've got more food on the day? Or do you look better when you've had more food the day before and a little bit less food in you? And for most people, that's going to be the case. You know, like food the day before, and then on the day, moderate foods, not like super, super low, because then he would struggle to get a pump, struggle to really get things going. Some people just, their midsection doesn't take too well to having lots of food, or they just hold a little bit more water and they just need to eat very little on show day. It depends if you're trying to dry out more and this and that. But for Lewis, you know, we knew that moderate foods on the day is fine, just not like super high. We had planned out to just have his high day foods, and it's ended up what we ran with, like his high day meal 1 and meal 2, but just with less food volume. So we took the veg out completely. The day before we halved the veg, so still keeping it in, just aiding like a normal day of digestion, just kind of keeping it the standards. And then on the morning of, it's like, right, we pulled down the protein to his mince, to half of what it would usually be in his pre-stage meal. And then also again took out like the veg, the peppers and everything, the tomato puree you'd usually have with it. Just a little bit of honey in his rice to make sure that it wasn't super dry. And that worked extremely well. So yeah, midsection super sharp, and that's without having to like eat nothing on the day or drink nothing on the day. Lewis still had 350 mils of water each hour, and it was technically 700 mils of water in the first hour, because I told him to drink a bit more to kind of properly rehydrate himself in the morning, as he usually would. You know, like he would usually drink a little bit more first thing in the morning to make sure that his hydration is going. That's the last thing you want to be, dehydrated. People think that when you look dry on stage, it's due to, all right, you know, I've drank less water, I've ate less food, so I'm super dry. Dry comes from you being full. Dry comes from you actually having a bit of fucking oomph, you know, like that's how you get that. It's not from just eating very little, drinking very little. When you're flat, you actually look soft, you know, because it depends on how full the muscle is. That's a lot of the time what just controls that dry look. Think of it as a balloon. That's the best way to put it across. A balloon, when you blow it up all the way, the material around the edge, you know, the material of the balloon gets super thin, you can see through it. When a balloon's got fuck all in it, it's that the material's super thick. It doesn't look great. It's the same with your muscle versus your skin. You know, the fuller your muscles are, the drier, the thinner your skin looks. So again, that look that we landed there, I think was very, very solid. We were going to push fullness for the overall, and this is a fucking massive shame. Missed the overall. Not like, oh, I missed out on the win. Missed out on the overall. So PCA, I've been to, I'd say maybe 5 to 10 PCA shows. The overalls usually run around 4 p.m. And Petru, I remember last year, Petru, like that was a little bit earlier than we expected. I went back and looked at it, and it was 4:30 p.m. So I was like, right, the overall's going to be 4 p.m.-ish. So Lewis went back to the apartment just to get all his stuff kind of prepped and ready to go, get his meal sorted. And when he'd done so, sorry, making sure somebody let me in there. He'd done so, he was chilling out, came back to the venue at 2:45 p.m. and they were on stage. So extremely unfortunate there, but you live and you learn. The good thing is there was an absolute monster in it, so there's I'm not going to say there was no chance at all of Lewis winning. Never know what that guy could have turned up like, but he was ridiculous. He's like bonkers. German fella that was really, really good. If it was like, right, Lewis was the front runner for that overall, I'd be absolutely raging. It's just unfortunate. Like, you live and you learn, making sure to not leave the venue. This is the earliest overall I have pretty much ever seen. 2:45 p.m. to already be on stage. They would have been going out at 2:40. Like, the second section of the show started at 1 p.m. and the overall was 15 classes into that, if you take into account the overalls that come right before it, because the men's bodybuilding is the final overall. 15 classes. Now, if anyone has not been to a bodybuilding show, don't know how it works, they'll bring you out for comparisons. They'll do the comparisons where you go through a few rounds, then you go off, you come back out and you do your posing routines, which are a minute each. Then they bring you back out all together again. They do a 1 minute pose down, and then you stand at the side of the stage, you wait for your rewards. They bring you out one by one to say there's third place, there's second place, there's first place, maybe even fifth, fourth, third, second, first. So that usually takes around 20 minutes per class. Now, some classes are a little bit shorter, so you need to take that into account. But when you work out the average of what they've done there, it was 5 to 6 minutes per class, which I've never heard of. It was extremely, extremely quick. I guess it would have just been a much quieter show. So unfortunate for sure, but again, just lesson learned of not leaving the show. I wasn't there, as I mentioned at the start of the video, so I wasn't able to kind of keep track of where the show was at, and there's no live stream or anything like that. So again, just a bit shit in general, but we got way more than we came for. You know, a win in the junior class as 18 is just honestly amazing, and Lewis has done so well in that sense. So that's the thing, like we're not, I wouldn't say we're not down about it. It's frustrating, of course, but like, to be able to do what he done today, I'm still so happy with that and absolutely over the moon. But yeah, the peak, super good, more than happy with it. Lewis runs like 3,900 calories twice a week, and we still done that. Still kept sodium and potassium very similar, literally did not move that in the slightest. Because again, we know what works. There's no point in changing. Like, being safe in a peak is so much better than trying to just throw shit last minute and, right, we're going to take all the salt down and take it away, we're going to ram in loads more. Like, stick with your guns, you know what's going to work, so stick with it. Now, there is certain times where you need to be adaptable and you need to adjust and stuff like that, but for the most part, if you've trialed things and if you've done it right throughout the peak week, you know realistically what's going to work, unless something crazy happens and goes off or is different to what it would usually be. So, yeah, we ran exactly how we wanted it to. We didn't change anything on the show day, and it was spot on. But yeah, I think that kind of covers everything there. Any questions that anyone has on that, do let me know. Lewis will be going again in 4 weeks' time. UK DFBA, Heart of England, WNBF First Timers, and a few other shows, which is exciting for sure. So yeah, that wraps that up. Just wrap the video there, to be fair. I don't think there's much else to show. Like I said, I'm doing a day in the life, but there's not much else going on today. It's a Saturday. I don't do a great deal on weekends, especially, again, it's a show weekend. I was up until midnight last night with Jay, one of my clients, competing or fighting in kickboxing, then up at 5 this morning. So very little sleep. I'll probably go in, eat, have a short nap, walk about, eat again, and go to sleep. So that's all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in to the video. You know, I appreciate it as always. And yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.